Same messages aloud in divorce court. Her smile vanished. I, 34 male, discovered my wife Veronica's 32 messages 3 weeks ago while looking for a photo she asked me to find on her phone. She wanted me to send her a picture from her gallery while she was in the shower, one from her company's award ceremony to post on LinkedIn. Her phone was right there, unlocked. She literally told me to use it. The notification popped up while I was scrolling. From someone saved as Gym Trainer Kyle. Can't wait till you're finally free from that loser. The prenup expires in 2 months, right? Then we can stop hiding. My blood went cold. We've been married 7 years. Yes, we have a prenup. It has a sunset clause at year 8. After that, assets get split 50-50 in a divorce. Before that, everyone keeps what they brought in plus what they individually earned. I scrolled up, just a little. Just enough. The messages went back 6 months. Kyle wasn't just her trainer, he was her boyfriend. And they weren't just having an affair, they were planning our divorce. Waiting for the prenup to expire so she could take half of everything, including my company that I started 2 years before we met. Some highlights from their conversation. Only 4 more months of pretending to love him. I deserve half that company. I supported him. She didn't. Already talked to my lawyer friend. After year 8, you're golden. He's so clueless, thinks I actually care about his boring work stories. The house will look so good without his ugly furniture. I took photos of everything with my own phone. Kept scrolling. Found messages to her sister Diane too. Playing the long game, but it'll be worth it. Kyle's so much better looking than Walter. That's me. Just have to fake it till February. Already picked out my new car with the settlement money. When Veronica came out of the shower, I was sitting on the bed, her phone back where she left it. She asked if I found the photo. I said, yeah, sent it. She kissed my forehead and said, thanks babe, you're the best. I wanted to throw up. That night, she made her favorite dinner, talked about planning a big anniversary trip for year 8. Somewhere special, she said. We deserve it. All while texting Kyle under the table. I saw his name pop up. She smiled at his message, then looked at me with fake love in her eyes. Everything okay, honey? She asked. You seem quiet. Just thinking about work stuff, I said. God, you're always thinking about that stupid company. She laughed. Not mean, but dismissive. You need to learn to relax. I recorded that conversation. Started recording a lot of conversations actually. 3 days later, I confronted her. Not aggressively. Just showed her my phone with the screenshots and said, we need to talk about these. Her face went through stages. Surprise, fear, then amusement. She actually laughed. Wow, you're really gonna cry over a few messages on my phone? They're just jokes between friends. Jokes about divorcing me when the prenup expires? You're so dramatic, Walter. Kyle's just a friend who jokes around. You're seriously this insecure? These aren't jokes, Veronica. She rolled her eyes. Oh my God, yes they are. You're really this pathetic? Going through my phone like some paranoid loser? You asked me to get a photo? And you snooped. God, you're such a baby. What? You gonna divorce me over some texts? Please, you wouldn't last a week without me. I stayed calm. Is that what you think? Planka? I know it. You need me, Walter. Who else would put up with your boring ass, your constant work talk, your complete lack of social skills? I make your life bearable. Interesting perspective, I said, pulling out a document. Here's mine. It was divorce papers. Already drawn up, filed that morning. Her laughter stopped. You're not serious. Not crying, I said, just preparing. Update 1, Veronica's entitlement has reached levels I didn't think were possible. After being served, she tried every manipulation tactic in the book. First came the tears and apologies. When that didn't work, she switched to anger. Then bargaining, then threats, then back to tears. It was like watching someone speed run through the stages of grief while adding extra stages of pure audacity. But here's what really showed her true colors. She tried to clean out our accounts. Not shared accounts. We don't have those. My business account. See, Veronica had herself listed as an emergency contact on my business banking. Not an authorized user, just emergency contact. She somehow convinced a new teller that meant she could make withdrawals for the family emergency. She tried to take $30,000. The bank manager called me immediately. They knew something was off because I'd already notified them about the divorce. The attempted theft was on camera. The teller admitted Veronica said I was in the hospital and unable to come myself. Complete lie. I was at work in a meeting with clients. I pressed charges for attempted fraud. But Veronica wasn't done. She called my biggest client, Rowan Technologies, and told them I was having a mental breakdown and they should reconsider their contract for their own protection. She pretended to be concerned, but really tried to destroy my business. My contact at Rowan called me immediately. "Walt, your wife just called saying you're unstable. What's going on?" I explained the divorce, sent him the fraud report, and apologized for the drama. He actually laughed. "Sounds like you're handling this exactly right. Don't worry about the contract, but maybe document this call for your lawyer." Then came the real kicker. Veronica went to my parents. Told them I was having an affair, that I was hiding money, that I was abusing her emotionally. My mom called me crying, couldn't believe her sweet daughter-in-law was going through this. I drove over with my laptop and evidence folder, showed them everything. The messages, the bank footage, the police report, the recorded conversations where she admitted the messages were real but called me pathetic for caring. My dad, who's been divorced himself, just shook his head. "She really thought she had you trapped, didn't she?" My mom was furious, not at me, at Veronica. "She sat at my table last Sunday talking about your anniversary trip while planning to rob you?" The best part? Veronica didn't know I'd already talked to Kyle's wife. Yeah, Kyle's married. Has been for 3 years. His wife Eleanor is pregnant with their first kid. I found her on social media, sent her everything. Eleanor called me the next day, devastated but grateful. She'd suspected something, but Kyle gaslit her into thinking she was paranoid. Sound familiar? She's divorcing him too. Kyle showed up at my office yesterday, full of rage. "You destroyed my marriage." "No, you did that when you started sleeping with my wife. It wasn't physical." "Yet, you were waiting till February, right? After the prenup expired?" His face went white. He realized I'd seen everything. "She told me you were abusive, that you ignored her, that the marriage was already over." "And you believed someone planning to deceive their spouse for financial gain?" He tried to take a swing at me. In my office, with cameras, and my assistant recording on her phone because she saw him storm and angry. Security removed him. I filed a restraining order. Veronica's response to all this? She sent me an email. Her lawyer told her to stop texting. "You're destroying everything over nothing. I never even slept with him. You're ruining 4 lives because you can't handle a little flirting. I hope you're happy being alone forever." My lawyer laughed when I forwarded it. "She really doesn't get it, does she? Keep documenting everything." Update 2. The divorce hearing was yesterday. Veronica walked in looking like she was heading to a photo shoot. Designer dress, perfect makeup, even brought her own bottle of water because courthouse water is gross. She genuinely thought she was going to win. Her lawyer had convinced her that the messages were inadmissible because I violated her privacy. She kept smirking at me, whispering to her sister Diane, who came for support. The judge, a no-nonsense woman in her 60s, was having none of it. "Mrs. Sullivan, these messages were obtained when you gave your husband permission to use your phone. Is that correct?" "Well, yes, but..." "And these subsequent recordings were made in a state where single-party consent is legal. Your attorney should have explained this." Veronica's lawyer tried to argue emotional distress, claiming I'd orchestrated a campaign of harassment by revealing the affair to Kyle's wife. The judge looked at him over her glasses. "Counselor, are you arguing that informing a woman her husband is having an affair constitutes harassment of the affair partner?" But then came the moment I'd been waiting for. My lawyer presented the financial evidence. Not just the attempted bank theft, but something else I'd found. Veronica had been skimming from our household expenses for 2 years. She'd submit receipts to me for groceries, utilities, repairs, all inflated or completely fake. She'd pocket the difference. Over $50,000 total. She documented it all in those messages to Kyle, got another $500 from the plumbing emergency lol, and he never checks receipts, easiest money ever. The judge asked Veronica directly, "Did you write these messages?" "They're taken out of context." "Did you write them?" "Yes." The judge then read several aloud, in open court, with Veronica's parents in attendance. They'd come to support her. Just have to fake it till February, then take half his boring company. Judge looked up. You wrote this? Veronica was shrinking in her chair. Yes. Already picked out my new car with the settlement money. This one? Yes. He's so clueless, thinks I actually care about his boring work stories. And this? By now Veronica was crying, not sad tears, angry, embarrassed tears. Her parents looked horrified. Her mom walked out, her dad stayed but wouldn't look at her. The judge continued, Mrs. Sullivan, you've admitted to fraud, attempted theft, and conspiracy to deceive your spouse for financial gain. You're fortunate Mr. Sullivan isn't pursuing criminal charges for the fraud. Then came the ruling. Divorce granted on grounds of adultery and fraud. Prenup enforced despite being close to expiration, due to Veronica's documented intent to defraud. Veronica ordered to repay the $50,000 she stole. Restraining order granted. She'd been harassing my clients. She gets nothing from the company. She keeps her personal belongings and her car, that she owns. She pays her own legal fees. Veronica exploded. This isn't fair. I gave him 8 years. I supported him. The judge, according to these messages, you faked it for financial gain. That's not support, Mrs. Sullivan. That's fraud. He tricked me. He set me up. You documented your own conspiracy in writing. Mr. Sullivan simply discovered it. As we left, Veronica grabbed my arm. You destroyed my life over nothing. Kyle and I never even had sex. I know, I said. You were waiting till February, after the prenup expired. You wrote that down, remember? She actually screamed in frustration. Her lawyer had to physically pull her away. Her sister Diane came up to me after. I didn't know about any of it. She told me you were controlling, that she was unhappy. I'm sorry. Kyle's wife Eleanor was there too. Public hearing. She found me outside. Thank you. I would have wasted years not knowing. She's 5 months pregnant, filing for divorce, and Kyle has to pay massive support. Final update. It's been 2 months since the divorce was finalized. Veronica has gone completely off the rails, but in ways that just keep proving the court made the right decision. First, she tried to start a GoFundMe claiming she was a domestic abuse survivor who lost everything in a corrupt court system. She raised $300 before someone, not me, posted the court transcripts in the comments. The fund was removed for fraud. Then she started a blog about surviving financial abuse, where she twisted everything. Said I'd trapped her in poverty during our marriage. She drove a Mercedes and lived in a 4-bedroom house. Said I'd isolated her from support. She went out with friends 3 times a week on my dime. The blog backfired spectacularly when Kyle's wife Eleanor commented with receipts, literal receipts, showing Veronica's shopping sprees, spa days, and luxury purchases, all while claiming to me she needed money for emergencies. But the real justice came from an unexpected source, the IRS. See, Veronica had been claiming those fake household expenses as tax deductions, writing off personal shopping as home office supplies, claiming her gym membership, where she met Kyle, as a medical expense. When I filed my taxes separately and correctly, it triggered an audit. They found 3 years of fraudulent deductions. She owes $18,000 in back taxes plus penalties. She called me crying last week, actually crying. Not manipulation tears, real, desperate tears. Walter, please, I'm living with my parents. I can't get a job because everyone Googles me and finds the court stuff. Kyle won't even talk to me. I'm broke. That sounds like a you problem. How can you be so cold? We were married for 8 years. 7 years and 10 months. You were counting down the last 2 months to rob me. Remember? I wasn't. I was confused. Kyle made it sound so easy. Kyle, who's now paying child support and alimony to his pregnant wife. Silence. Then, I know I messed up, but this is too much. The IRS is garnishing my wages. What wages? You just said you can't get a job. I'm working at my dad's hardware store, part-time, minimum wage. This isn't who I am. Actually, it's exactly who you are. Someone facing consequences. She hung up. Her parents reached out to apologize again. They're mortified. Their daughter, who they thought married well and was living a happy life, turned out to be a con artist who got caught. They offered to pay me back the $50,000. I told them no. That's Veronica's debt, not theirs. Meanwhile, I'm doing great. The business actually grew after the divorce. Turns out, clients respect someone who handles crisis calmly. I've dated a bit, nothing serious yet. just enjoying being with people who actually like me, not my bank account. The last twist? Kyle tried to reconcile with Eleanor. She posted his pathetic texts on social media with his number redacted. He was offering to go to counseling, claiming Veronica seduced and manipulated him. Eleanor's response: "You plan to leave your pregnant wife for someone you thought was rich. You're both trash." Eleanor had the baby last month. Healthy girl. Kyle has to pay $2,400 a month in child support. He's living in a studio apartment, lost his gym job after the scandal, and is working at a supplement store. Veronica still emails occasionally, alternating between apologizing and blaming me. Last one said, "I could have been a good wife if you'd been more interesting." I didn't respond, but I did laugh. She had 8 years to be a good wife. Instead, she chose to be a criminal who documented her own crimes. The prenup that she was waiting to expire? It saved me from losing half of a company now worth $2.8 million. The messages she mocked me for caring about? They exposed her fraud, got her audited, and destroyed her reputation. She was right about one thing, though. I did need her. Needed her to teach me what I don't want in a partner. Needed her to show me that staying calm and documenting everything beats emotional reactions. Needed her to prove that karma doesn't need my help. It just needs evidence. Last week, I got a text from an unknown number. "Is this Walter? I'm Jenna, Veronica's friend from college. She gave me your number years ago for emergencies. I just wanted you to know we all knew she was using you. We tried to tell her it was wrong. I'm sorry we didn't try harder." I responded, "No worries." She played herself in the end. Jenna played herself right into her parents' basement. Exactly. The woman who mocked me for crying over messages cried in court when those messages were read aloud. The woman who said I'd never last without her is thriving while she bags groceries at her dad's store. The woman who counted down to our prenup expiring got divorced 2 months before it would have mattered. Best $300 I ever spent on a divorce lawyer consultation. Worth every penny to see her smirk disappear when the judge read her own words back to her. Munter,